All I'll say is this, don't look this one up on doesthedogdie.com. Or does the child get absolutely fucking bodied.com.
At first, no one believed it. Now, no one will forget it. Alligator.
Come on though, you're telling me you flush a baby alligator down into the sewers below Chicago where it then grows up into a giant monster and you don't put it on drugs? This could have been the originator of Cocaine Bear, the original proper meth gator. Instead of the just shitty Jaws ripoff that it was seemingly just trying to be. There was no ambition here whatsoever. Alligator's about a teenage girl who brings home a pet baby alligator from holiday in Florida to Chicago, and her dad is presented as an asshole for getting rid of it by flushing it down the toilet. By today's sensibilities, he's the only one really thinking clearly. What was your plan when it started growing up? It doesn't matter. So 12 years later, it starts terrorizing the city because these guys are, and most of the runtime is actually spent on trying to go after these pharmaceutical guys who are dumping the corpses of dogs they've been testing on into the sewers where they are then eaten by this monster. They don't know that it's getting eaten by this monster, but it's getting eaten by this monster. Never once in this film is the alligator really facing off against people who aren't police, and yet it takes over an hour, well over an hour, before anyone takes a single gunshot at it. So don't worry about the fact that there are enough dogs being dumped into the Chicago sewers to feed an alligator for over a decade consistently. That's fine. Basically, the teenage girl is now grown up. She's the country's leading herpetologist. That's not what it sounds like. And they go to her and they're like, we need your help. And she's like, well, an alligator couldn't be in the sewers. And then she's proven wrong. And then they're like, wait, no, we need your help. She's like, well, it's got to be a really small alligator. And then it turns out to be huge. And then they just keep going back to her, being like, she's the expert. And she's constantly wrong. It's very annoying. So the thing suddenly bursts out of the sewers after about 50 minutes with music that makes it sound like Godzilla's just hit Tokyo. And, I gotta say, more than it being a giant alligator, even though it was living in the sewers all these years with nobody noticing it and all of that, what irritates me the most is that the final 40 minutes of this film is a manhunt for this gator through the city. The entire last 40 minutes of the film, there is a citywide lockdown, big search for it. It's on the news. All the police are looking for it. They are all involved. There were like 100 of them, and they can't find it. It's a huge alligator. It just walks around at the speed of a normal alligator pretty slowly. Then they find, well, no, they don't find it, but then it ends up in like this suburban swimming pool somewhere. And still, nobody, noticed it getting in there, and they don't call the police quick enough to get it, and it takes days of it just wandering around the city before they're able to, find it and actually go after it. And God, it's very frustrating. This is a pretty cheaply made film from 1980, and it's just called Alligator, so no, I wasn't expecting much, but come on, it didn't even manage to meet my low expectations here. It's so just frustratingly written. When the alligator finally bursts out of the sewers and is loose in the city, and everyone believes the main characters then decide now is the time to go into the sewers and investigate how the gator got so large and go after this pharmaceutical company. Well, the gator is still on its rampage through the city. They are going aha, we finally figured it out in the sewers, while the alligator is sitting in a swimming pool, bodies a 5-year-old child. Kid gets pushed into the pool, water turns red, the whole thing. Is that even allowed? Is this film up to code? So, not good. No, it's not horrifically made, but there's not a great volume of talent across the board here. It's difficult to tell how seriously it's taking itself. There's just things here that made me want to bludgeon a child to death, but the alligator already ate them all. Seriously, how did no one see that it was sitting in their swimming pool all day? It's fine. No, so I'm giving, what does anybody need anybody for? You're the country's leading herpetologist, you have a wonderful mind, a doctorate degree, and beautiful tits. 1.5 stars. When the alligator just randomly turns up at the big party the pharmaceutical company guy is having and goes beeline straight for him for no reason, that was one of the most hugely convenient moments of cinematic excellence I've seen in years. Not really though. Subscribe for more hard truths.